Hi, everybody. And of course, I always seem to start off the show with eyelash problems. Isn't that fun? Okay, so we've got an interesting night tonight. This is I'm really excited about this because it's Mother's Day weekend, and I'm starting this off with a bang because I I I know some of y'all know, like, I have kids. Well, this came to me in several different manners because I have a child that is sick, and I was also talking to a friend of mine tonight, and we were talking about balance and um, just making sure that you're not giving out more than you're taking in. And it's really, really challenging when you have kids, when you have anyone that is counting on you, right? Can you guys hear me okay? Oh, yay. Okay, I can see it now. Because it doesn't always tell me on this like where I am. So, look at everybody in here. Kelsey, Angie, Seeking Peace, 2. I like that. Carol DeForest, Danielle, Tomomi. This is really exciting. So I'm expanding a little bit, shall we say. Hey, Courtney. Um, because I was only doing metaphysical practices like twice a month because, the new moon and the full moon, but there's more phases to the moon that we need to address. There's like more out there. It's Kathleen in Seeking Peace too. I had to do that. It was just fun for me. Um, so I've like added a little bit. And in fact, like, because I've just been doing metaphysical practices for just over a year now, I'm actually adding a bunch of stuff. So I'm adding a couple of new shows to our like lineup. God, seriously, I don't know what's going on with the eyelash tonight. Um, I'm adding a couple of new shows. One of them is going to be Come Learn Tarot with Me. So I know about tarot, but I know this much about tarot, right? So I have a ton of books. They may not all be present over here. And there's Jasmine. So I have a ton of books. I'm ready to go, and we are going to we're going to start learning tarot, and every week it's going to be like we're going to add to like what we're learning, we're going to add to what we're doing. I'm very excited about it because we're going to be actually learning tarot together. So I've taken several tarot classes. And I've just never been like, really sold on it. But stuff that Rachel says, like, every now and then I'm like, why did I think that you had to think of the tarot as a certain way? You really don't. So, this is a very exciting little show that I'm going to be doing, but also it's going to, like, I feel like it's going to open up a little doorway with the tarot cards because, I love the oracle stuff. It's just me, but I'm very excited about the tarot. So, in light of that, I'm going to draw a couple of cards for tonight, get this started off. But I'm very, very excited about this half moon. So, I call it a half moon. It's actually the second quarter moon that we have on Sunday on Mother's Day. I really think these moons are important because of the balance, the importance of the balance. There's a lot of spell work that I do specifically during those moons because, you can't always have like the full moon because it's like the rock star of the moon world, right? Everybody that's like a lady I spoke to today was like, everybody has full moon rituals and full moon exercises, and she goes, I just feel like the new moon gets left out. Well, it kind of does. So I feel like the quarter moons are getting left out. Yeah, I know. Kelsey and Nikki. Hey, Nikki. I wasn't sure who I had said to. Hey, Sandra. So what I'm going to be doing tonight is I want to talk about some of this balance, especially with women. Even if you're not a mother, like given birth to, you probably have animals. You probably have like a significant other. Don't get me started. Seriously. You probably have, okay, there's one person in the chat that I know she has a shitload of animals, so she's going to be joining this. But there's always somebody that we're taking care of, whether it's a parent or a child or even a friend. And that can be very troubling sometimes, right? And especially for all of us, like, I don't want to say controlling, but some of us will look at things and be like, you're doing that wrong. You're doing that wrong. And you really want to correct them, but you can't because it's like their thing. They have to do it. They have to find out how to, yeah. So it's a lot easier to correct the four-legged ones, all the babies. It really is. I have a cat and a dog. That's enough. Yeah, seriously. Y'all, I didn't get married until I was 40. I had my first child just a couple of months before I turned 42. And I had my second one a couple of days after I turned 44. So I had many years of just me and my dog. It was amazing. I could put him in the car and drive 15 hours and he never bitched about it. We could camp out on those long drives in a Walmart parking lot and sleep for a few hours and get up and go. He never complained. Not one time. We would go to the beach. He wouldn't bitch when I wanted to come back in. He wouldn't be like, I don't want to wake up and go out. He was so great. That was my first baby. Yeah, it's crazy. So there's always hope, man. There's always hope. Love the cats. Okay, my cats are over there because I have a sofa for them now. And you see where Badger's not. I cleaned this damn area off for him and the little heifers over there. Yeah. And they gave me poison ivy again. I mean, I can't get the poison ivy to get gone from my yard, so I just look like I have the plague. But thanks to Rachel, I was introduced to this awesome stuff. It is colloidal silver gel. Holy shit. This stuff is so awesome. I'm using this and hydrocortisone cream, but this also works on zits, people. Oh, yeah. It's awesome. It cures what ails you. Colloidal silver gel. And you can find that on Amazon. So, okay, so let's take a look of our balance. Y'all are not going to believe this. Okay, seriously, I'm not a tarot queen here. But the first card that I pull, Scales of Justice. I mean, if that's not balance, y'all, I don't know what is. This is amazing. Okay, second card. Oh, the King of Wands. Well, there's old boy. He's probably waiting for somebody to bring him his damn dinner. You think? Hey, Suzanne. I know. Well, the liquid is good, Danielle, but this gel, it's like it's a gel, and it's fantastic. I do have regular colloidal silver as well. I spray it on like my throat. People who take that orally. Yes, I take the regular colloidal silver. Like I spray it on my throat, and that's a whole nother thing too. Rachel got me doing that. It was disgusting at first. Actually, no, it's still disgusting, but it fixes things. So the last card pull is the Sun. Oh, and look at that. There's a baby in it, and it's a boy. I'm not hating on men because there's too many damn men in my house. I got 2 boys and I'm married to one. So, it's okay. But so I do want to talk about the balance that we have as mothers, because let's face it, as mothers, we're not sitting on our ass. If we're stay-at-home moms, those are the hardest working people I've ever met. They are constantly doing something. And if the kids are at home while they're staying at home trying to do stuff, it's like trying to polish a turd, right? I mean, you're constantly trying to clean up after these people that are making a mess. So, I mean, it's kind of crazy, like the stuff that goes on and the stigma that gets attached to women that do stay at home. I think that's a hard job, and honestly, I'd rather go to work. I would rather go to work and hire somebody to watch my kids, which I have done. Thank you. But like today, I had to reschedule appointments because one of my sons was sick. So he was throwing up and he's sick, and it's not just about like him being sick, it's about where he chooses to throw up. Are you kidding me with this shit? Yeah. And I'm like, I would be a rich woman if I could come up with a spell on how to clean that up off the floor so that I didn't have to do it. But I'm not at the bippity boppity boo stage, so it's lots of fun. But so I had to quickly juggle and rearrange my appointments and move things around because he was sick and I had to go pick him up at school. Okay, so I went and picked him up at school. Well, then I come home and he needs me to stay with him, because he's sick. Okay, he's 5. I can do that. Now, if he was like 14, I'd be like, you seriously can't like lay here on the couch and like work this out yourself. Like, I can put a throw up bucket here for you and here's your ginger ale, but you can't do this by yourself. But see, there's a different stage, right? There's a different stage of life. So how do we as women, whether we're taking care of family members, like adult children, family members, y'all know who I'm talking about, right? Our parents. Did you just want to say, like, I'm going to whisper that? Our parents. So if we're taking care of our parents, or if we're taking care of like an aunt or an uncle, or if we're like taking care of family, there's so many empaths in this group right now. You can't tell me that even the men that are in this group are not taking care of somebody. Because it's the empaths that like joined tonight. Very interesting. I know. So this is, this is what you're dealing with, right? You're looking for that balance of like, you want to help them, but you can't do it all for them, right? You want to help them, but you can't do it all for them. Okay, so this is in our family life, right? So what if we expand that? And we're also thinking out in the world. We want to help people, but we can't do it for them. We want to help people, but they don't want our help. That happens, right? There's a balance. You have to let go, restore the balance, because it's like a slinky. If you're pushing too hard, the whole damn thing's going to collapse. So how do we find that balance of teaching people, like small people, big people, whatever, whoever we're taking care of, do this or it doesn't get done? It's like you want to say, all right, wipe your own ass or it's not going to get done. Oh my gosh. I seriously, tonight I'm broadcasting to a couple of new places, La Hermosa Bruja, and I hope Carrie is okay with me like cussing like this. Oh my gosh. So, but she has kids. She has like 5 kids, so she knows what I'm talking about. But so this is where we have that balance. Like, how do we do this? How do we do this? How do we have our lives and help them with their lives? That's a struggle for a mom, right? That is a huge struggle. Okay, if it's not a child that we're taking care of, if it's an adult that we're taking care of, how do we have our lives and help them patch together the remnants of their life? Right? Without like making them codependent, without making, without creating a problem, but they've had a life. I mean, whether they're 30, 50, 70, whatever, they've lived some years, right? They've made some decisions. So this is where we get to, okay, how do we balance this? Because they're not living your life, right? And you can't hold off and wait forever for them to fix their shit. You can't hold off and wait forever for an adult to like figure out that they have to take medicine every day. It's in a little pill box. It's labeled. It says what time. Take your meds. There's an alarm. Take your meds. You can't hold off on your life and not work, not socialize, not take care of your laundry, your dishes, your bills, or just go have a drink with friends. You can't just stop shit, right? It's the same way as being a mom. You can't stop your life to just for 18 years or however long it takes to raise a kid these days. I don't even know, because I will say I did move back home a couple of times, like in between like living situations or like while looking for a house or whatever. I didn't camp out there, but I have known people that have had children that come back home and they camp out. They're like, yep, I'm here. And they stay. So how do you help them gain their wings? Like, what do you do here? Right? Maybe you start by charging them rent so that they still have like they still have to acknowledge that they're taking up space in your house, or they're 35 and won't move out. Okay, yeah. What do you do? So this is a balance. Like, okay, I did have a client that she made her son sign a lease. She was like, well, if you're going to live here, you're going to sign a lease. Now, if it's a habitable experience, if it's a symbiotic experience and everybody's getting what they need from it, gun it up. That's the way to go. But if it's uneven and one person is giving too much, that messes up, right? But like with me and my mom, now that we're both adults, we're both mothers. Well, now I am. We're both mothers. We have very, very different experiences because my mom was quite young when she had her children. And I was the opposite end of the spectrum. I mean, in my 40s. So my mom was like 20. She was actually 16 and 20. But, she had her children quite young and I had mine a bit older. So we have very different experiences. But we come together now and we have a very symbiotic relationship. Like, I ask her for something, she asks me for something. It's a give and take process, and it is constantly moving back and forth. And I think that is a healthy relationship as a mom, right? It's balance. It's balance. When they're young, like mine are, and they throw up everywhere, I'm not trying to gross y'all out. I'm sorry. But that's out of balance, right? Because he's 5. First of all, he doesn't clean up anything on his own. Not the chocolate milk that he spilled this morning. Not the Fruit Loops that he dropped and then ground into my carpet. So, there's balance. But he's learning how to pick up. He's learning how to do things. But am I supposed to, as a working mom, am I supposed to put my life on hold to just caretake for my children, which I do think is a very, very important job. Don't get me wrong. As I said at the beginning of this, I think stay-at-home moms are the hardest working people. And it's not a job that I want ever again. Like, I tried it and I was like, how are these women not drunk all day? I would just, I couldn't do it. So how do we keep the balance here, people? How do we keep the balance? And I keep saying women. And the reason why I'm addressing this is because I don't want to leave the fellas out, because I saw Jason in this. I don't want to leave the fellas out, but I'm just addressing women because it's Mother's Day. And Men have their own set of problems, right? Because some of them want to stay at home with the kids. Some of them want to do that. But unfortunately, they're like, I got to go to work. I got to be the breadwinner. So by the time they get home, their wife is taking care of everything. I wish it was like that in my house, but it's not. Dr. Seuss and I split everything pretty evenly. I know. Well, we try. Sometimes it's more heavily on me. Sometimes it's more heavily on him. So it vacillates. It really does. But we do work together as a team. And when I tell him, I'm like, I need to go out of town. I need to do this, or I need to go. I'm starting this show, or I'm doing blah, blah, blah. He's like, okay. And then I ask him, I'm like, what are you wanting to do? Do you want to go to the record store? Something that he really loves. You know, I've offered for him to take guy weekends away. I'm like, I don't know what they want to do. Like drink beer, like fart, scratch their ass, go to a strip club. I don't know. But I'm not wanting to be a dude around my husband. So we just try to keep everything in balance. You know, if he wants to go somewhere, he does. And he loves concerts, so we go to concerts. It's not my thing, but I go because he loves them. Yeah. So I know, look at Veronica and Vanetta have joined us. Ah. So how do we keep that in balance as women or as men, whoever is in the chat? How do we keep it in balance if this is something that we want? This is something that we're manifesting. And your family or your friends or whoever is putting roadblocks in your way. Like, do you stop? Do you stop and say, okay, my son threw up today, so do I stop? Do I not do my show tonight? What do I do? So I worked it out. I was like, there's actually a couple of people in the chat. What I did was I rescheduled a couple of appointments, and then I was like, okay, we can do this. I rescheduled a couple of appointments, and then we moved into the show. I know. It worked out really well. Hey, hey, Sandra, and Catlin. Okay, something just happened to my stream. I think I just got kicked off of YouTube. That's really weird. Huh. Okay, sorry. I'm just double checking. All my YouTube chats, I know you guys can't all see them, but all the YouTube chats just evaporated and went away. That was weird. So anyway, oh, thank you, Kelsey. Thank you. But I had the hardest time when I was trying to be a stay-at-home mom, when I was staying home with my boys when they were little. I had a really hard time with it. It wasn't that I didn't love my kids. It wasn't that I didn't want to be there and support them. It's just that I'm an older mom, and I was like, I need to move into something else. I need to add to this layer. I need to add to it. So what I ended up doing was getting a part-time job that I worked like kind of the crappiest hours, but it was the hours that worked for me because I got time alone with the boys like all day, like by myself. And then I had like Dr. Seuss took over at night 3 days a week. And it worked really, really well because then he got to spend some quality time with them. And I got to go out and do something that made me feel like I was contributing. It made me feel like I was like participating in life. And it also made me feel like I was adding some worth, like in the world. And because it was stifling and it was stuck. So how do we do that for ourselves if other things are keeping us stifled and stuck? How do we balance that? How do we pull the plug on the things that are stopping up the flow? Because as somebody specifically said to me today, you never step in the same river twice, right? Because the water is always flowing. You never step, it's never the same river. You never step in that twice. So, where you're at right now, this is what you have. This is what you want to, like, this is what you can gather. The next thing, it may be something new that comes along. So, there's constantly things coming along that could propel you in a different direction, that could, like, enlighten you or, you know, give you this grand idea or whatever. But it's what time, when are you stepping into the river? What is the idea that's coming to you right now, right? And it may take you around, like, in a different direction. But if the flow isn't there, then you're just sitting in stagnant water. And that's not where growth happens, right? That's where, and especially if you live in the South, that's where shit grows. Not good shit. Yeah. I mean, the dog didn't come down here for a couple of days. I don't know what was up her butt, but she wouldn't come down here for a couple of days. I was probably doing something. I don't know. Actually, I think it was the cats, to be honest with you, because Badger was just wanting to be alone. So Jasmine wouldn't come in to the office. So the dog water stood for almost 2 days and it had shit growing in it. That's not good. That's not what you want, right? That's not healthy water. So healthy water flows. We need to be healthy. We need to flow. And keeping that balance is going to help us flow. Because if one side is like giving too much and collecting it all, that's not growing either. But this side is definitely not growing because it's probably empty. You have to have some balance here. And I love, love, love doing these kind of spells at the quarter moons, the second quarter and the fourth quarter moons. Hey, Glenda. Hey, Bobby. Woo, woo, woo. Especially, don't you think women put... Okay, yeah. There's a lot of women and men that put others first. So, because I know, I've seen a couple of men here in the chat, but I know these men that are here and they are empaths as well. And we don't think about men caretaking. We don't necessarily think about them as caretakers. And I know I started this off just as women because it is Mother's Day, but it definitely applies here because I hope my boys take care of me. Let me tell you something. They better take care of me because thing one and thing two isn't, if they're not going to take care of me when I'm old, after I had them when I was old and wrecked my body, come on. This didn't go back to its like regular position in your 40s. They don't tell you that. They just call you a geriatric mom and they move on. But they don't tell you that this does not snap back into place like it does when you're in your 20s or 30s. Yeah, it's really funny. But, no, Kelsey. But, so if they don't take care of me, like, who's going to do it? I'm not having any more children. Like, baby factory shut down. So, because I'm turning 50 this year. So my boys are going to be hopefully taking care of me and not sticking me in a home. I don't know. I might annoy them enough that they may do that. But so there are men caretakers out there that take care of their mothers, that take care of their siblings, you know, that they're kind of groomed to do that, especially if they're the firstborn child. My boyfriend is super water. He takes care of others, but okay, now wait a minute, Tomomi. That may also be because you want to take care of everybody. And how often do you open yourself up to be taken care of? That's something that I have a problem with. That is something that I have a huge issue with. And somebody told me today, a very wise woman that is sitting in the chat, that I needed to be a cheerleader for myself like I am for everybody else. Well, this is the shit that I preach to like all the people in the developing empath classes. I talk about you have to be your own cheerleader. You have to like give to yourself. If you're like promoting somebody else, promote yourself along with it. It's not being like egotistical. It's not like pushing, okay, probably there is a too far thing to like, hype yourself up. But the thing is, if you don't do it, nobody else is. And I saw a meme for that, and they were just like, if you don't think you're hot, nobody else is going to think that way. If you don't think you're great, who else is going to think that? It's contagious, people. Yeah. So when you think something about yourself, other people are going to think it too. And that's a different kind of balance because you're just pouring that information into them. Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. Oh my gosh, I'm so fat. You're filling them up with what they are supposed to think about you. But if you're just like, dude, I'm the smartest person ever. I'm so hot. Right? But you do have to be your own cheerleader. Everybody does. Especially when you're taking care of other people. Especially when you're trying to help somebody like learn how to fly themselves. Because nature, like, pay attention. Nature does not caretake their young, right? Anything in nature, no. It sends them out. And it's just like, going out. Okay, you're weaned now. I've taught you how to hunt. I've taught you how to gather. I've taught you how to make a nest. Off with you. I know. But what do? We cling to them. Or we let them back in and let them live in our basement. No one's living in my basement. I'm just saying. It's an example. But there has to be some kind of balance there, right? So if you're giving to other people and you find that your river is clogged and it's not moving, what are you doing to clog up your river? Are you using your family as an excuse? And believe me, I get it. There's a lot of sacrifices that I've made for my kids. There's a lot of sacrifices I've made because I've been like, okay, I can't dump this on Dr. Seuss. Like, I can't ask him to do that again. But the great thing is I work from home. So all day long, like, I'm constantly doing stuff. Like, when the washing machine is working, the damn thing, never buy a Whirlpool. That's all I'm saying. When the washing machine is actually working, because we just bought the new one and it's still not working, I'm doing laundry, I'm cleaning the kitchen, so I'll take a couple of calls, and then I'm in the house, like, picking up toys or doing whatever. And then I'm down here, I'm editing videos, thanks to Bobby, who taught me how to do that, after I drove him crazy with so many questions. I like come down here, I do edits, I do a lot of work, and then like I have a timer on my phone, I'll go up and check the laundry, I'll go up and check the dishwasher. It's like a constant thing. I work in my garden some. There's like things that I'm doing all the time that Dr. Seuss doesn't have to do when he gets home because I am here. So it makes it a little bit easier, but then he sometimes is like, okay, well, what have you been doing all day? Oh, please ask me that again, asshole. Okay, yes. I thought that I got my washing machine fixed. Okay. But turns out it wasn't. So the guy came out, it broke again in April. The guy came out and he fixed it. We did one load of laundry and it broke again. So he came back out the next day and he fixed it again, and it's worked for about 8 days and it's broken again. So he's coming back out tomorrow. But this is a really good guy and he keeps coming back out to fix it. It's not like the people that we had before trying to fix it. But that was the people with Whirlpool. Yeah. So much fun. Eating too much cheese, really, Bobby? That's funny. Yeah. So again with the balance, so balancing the scales, right? What I really, really like, Blue Day, Big Threat. Oh my gosh, I know. This is all, like a lot of amethyst here. It's amethyst. It does look really, really blue in the light, but there's a lot of amethyst and some blue stones. So pretty. It is. So, how are we going to balance this? On Mother's Day, we have a second quarter moon. It's in Leo. So, cheese clogs up your river. So it's in Leo. That's a fire sign, and it's a powerful one. I personally, I like the fire moons. Okay, I just, we need a little more fire in the sky sometimes. But this is a fire moon. We're in the second quarter. We're at the half and half point. So get out in that moon sometime on Mother's Day. And it actually starts on... It actually starts on Saturday night. Sorry, it starts Saturday morning. So Saturday morning until, I would say, Monday morning. Yeah, Monday morning at 8:39 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay? Get out in the moon and start thinking about how you want to balance. Think about what you're going to do to balance. How are you going to work this out with your family, with your friends? What are you going to do? Like, is there a friend that keeps asking you over and over and over again for a favor? And again, like I was talking to somebody today, and she said that she had a friend that got upset with her because when her friend was in a low place, she gave her, like, she shared an account with her on something. And after a time, she was like, it was just supposed to be until she got her credit built up. So after a time when her credit was built up, she was like, okay, so are you ready to, like, go out on your own? It's been way longer than a year. And her friend got really mad and got really upset. But you can't keep carrying them, right? You can't keep them in the nest. At some point, they have to be able to do this on their own. So it's a challenge. It's a real challenge. And I'm that person. Like, I don't necessarily... It's not that I don't enjoy doing things by myself, because, like, here I am. Well, I mean, there's a bunch of guides in here, and the dog and 2 cats. I mean, a snoring dog. I don't know if y'all can see her. But yeah, a snoring dog, 2 cats. It's all good. So, I'm gonna see if I can tilt the camera down a little bit so you can see her. But the thing is, I always think that I need somebody else present. See, there she is, little Jasmine. I always think I need somebody else there. I always think that I have to have someone else, like, in that community, instead of me building a community. And I think we all have to build our own communities. I think individually we build our own communities, and then we come together and everything just sort of clicks into place. Like, if we're meant to be in that circle. Right? So that, I think, is also like a tribe, if you want to say that. Because not everybody is going to be, not everybody's into this stuff, right? But not everybody is also going to be sitting at home, like, talking their Baptist minister every night either. I don't really know who does that, but, so everybody has their own niche. Everybody has their own blend to bring to the party. And I think it's important that we honor ourselves, and we honor, like, our river, and, like, keep it flowing, keep it going, and keep it moving. And if we clog it up, then there's somebody down the river that's not getting what they need from us. there's somebody down the river that's not getting what we're supposed to be sending down. It's important that we don't block it up. It's important that we honor and say, I love my family. I love my friends. I love my yada, 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 fill in the blank. But we don't stop our lives for them, right? And that's the great thing about these animals is that, again, they don't bitch when I leave for several hours. No, they're happy to see me when I get home. Okay, I will take that back a little bit because Badger has gotten mad at me when I've traveled and been gone for a period of time, and I come back and he puts his tail up in the air and he's just like, "Bitch, where you been?" What can I say? He loves me. He just likes his feeder, but I think that this is where we have to find some balance, and I don't think it makes me a bad mom because I hand things over to my husband sometimes. I don't think it makes me a bad mom because I'm in my office right now recording and he's taking care of the children. I don't think that makes me a bad mom. I don't think it makes me a bad mom that I'm not there every single night that they go to bed, but I'm there a lot. I'm there every morning that they wake up. Well, almost every morning because that's my part. Dr. Seuss puts them to bed. I wake them up. Because I do like a lot of work at night. And, wow, that sounded weird, didn't it? Okay, see, Kelsey, our river shouldn't dry up. That's siphoning. That's us. We're giving too much shit away. That's siphoning. That river should be plentiful and never ending. That's interesting. I forgot your mom was a Leo, Tomomi. Makes a lot of sense. So it doesn't make you a bad parent. It doesn't make you a bad child. It doesn't make you a bad friend. It doesn't make you a bad spouse. It doesn't make you a bad human being if you do stuff that you are guided to do. If you do things that you're like, okay, I really want to do this, and they're not on board. It doesn't make you a bad human being. It doesn't make you a bad anything. When you say, hey, I really want to do this, and the other person is not helping you out. Like if Dr. Seuss wasn't helping me out, I would find another way to do it. And I have. Because not to just tell you guys all of our issues, but there was a time that Dr. Seuss and I separated, and I wasn't sure at that time, what was going to happen, but I just knew that something had to change. And the only thing that I could change at that time was for us to separate. And I don't even think the boys realized it. We separated for 6-7 months. And until we figured it out. And I was like, we have to figure this out as a unit. We have to figure this out as a partnership. This is not I'm going to do all this shit and you're not. No. And it wasn't him that had to do all the work either. He had to do a lot of the work because, because look at me. I'm so perfect. I'm so funny. Anyway. But we came back together and we decided to rebuild. We decided to reconstruct, not start over on the same foundation, but part of it. So what we did is we added to the foundation we had and we made it stronger and we built from there. And that was a better way to go. So now we have more balance. We have more harmony with the children, with our jobs. We have more of that. And I don't think that he works harder than I do. And I don't think he thinks I work harder or less than him. He makes jokes about it all the time. But when he comes home and he sees what's been done, or he sees that, oh, she was up all night with somebody vomiting and half the afternoon, things balanced, right? So ask yourself, what is blocking you? What's stopping you from going further? What's stopping you from that advancement? What is stopping you from reaching for the next level? What is stopping you? Find your balance, because I'm not going to stop being a mom. I mean, I'm not going to stop that. I'm not going to stop being a spouse, but I'm also not going to stop being me. And I think that is like a hugely important thing to realize is, okay, there is some balance here. And sometimes I'm working in my office and I have a little desk over there for the boys. They'll come down here and draw and ask me 500 million questions about what I'm doing. That's super fun. But they're curious about it. Like, Thing 2 has to look at these spirit animal books every time he comes down here. Every time. And then he puts them back in the wrong order. That shit drives me crazy. But I digress. But the thing is, they come down here and they know I'm working. And they're like, are you taking phone calls, Mommy? No, Mommy's not taking phone calls. Mommy's working on editing tonight, or Mommy's working on another project. And so they have a little desk. They sit and watch. Now they have a sofa that they can sit on and ask me questions from the nether room. So much better, isn't it? Yeah. But they know that I'm working and that my work is here and Daddy's work is away. So again, it's showing them that I'm a part of it too. And I'll say, okay, Mommy's going away for the weekend. Mommy's going to work. I'll see you, blah, blah, blah. And then I talk to them while I'm gone, but I'm not shutting it down, right? I'm not stopping just because a 5-year-old has a birthday party. I just make arrangements for somebody to take him. I know. So there's a lot there. Like, you can't let it stop you. And if you have a spouse, a child, a mother, a sibling, a aunt or uncle, or animals, although really, the animals don't do it, right? Am I right, people? Like, does Zuri bitch when you guys leave the house? Okay, she might. That's a cute dog, by the way. Like, Jen has like a clutch of cats. Oh my gosh, and they're so cute, and just like a really, really active dog. But she works. She has a very vibrant social life, according to Facebook. So there are things that we can't just stop, but our animals aren't bitchy. I love that. I get sad looks from everyone. I know, but as soon as you sit down, what do? They flock to you, right? Yeah. So Dr. Seuss and I have an agreement that we're not going to give each other guilt trips for things that have to do with like our goals. Like, we have a goal to do this. We have a goal that we want to, like, I have a goal for business. We have a goal that we want to achieve together in our partnership, as our unit. And then he has separate goals. We're not going to give each other guilt trips over that if it's within reason. Now, if I was down here every night, 7 days a week, like recording until midnight, he might have a problem with that shit. I mean, if I was raking in the dough, maybe like $1 million a year or whatever, he would probably be like, we can work that out. But I'm not. So I make arrangements. So when I have my appointment times, I go up and have dinner with the boys. Then I come back down and I will have an appointment if I have later appointments. Then I go back up, I kiss them goodnight, and I come back down for if I have later appointments. So I do a lot of work at night, but I still try to participate and show like I'm here. I don't get to do it every night, like go up and kiss them goodnight, but sometimes they're asleep and I go up and just give them a kiss, but that's for me, not for them. It makes it really nice having a partner that doesn't make me feel guilty about what I want to do. And he's actually very encouraging. Has it always been that way? No. No. But it is that way now. And that was something, again, working in a partnership. So when you're looking at this second quarter moon, I want you to look at how the moon works in partnership with each other. Now, I realize it's not two, right? But work with me here, okay? We've got half lit and half dark moon, right? Is I love the half because of the balance. Because you can have what you want and still be present as a good daughter, a good son, a good spouse, a good parent, a good aunt or uncle, a good caretaker in general, a good brother or sister. You can still do those things and still have your life. Because if we're talking about older people that you're taking care of, they've made choices. They have been living their life. There's only so much you can do for them, right? You can't take every step with them throughout the day. If we're talking about small children, well, that's a different story because there's a couple of people in this chat that have babies. And they really are cute babies. Oh my gosh. Especially that little handsome devil from Texas. He's so precious. But the thing is, as he gets older, or as the children get older, then all of a sudden there's play dates. All of a sudden there's nursery school. I did mother's morning out programs with my children, more for me to have time, but also for them to socialize. And I'm going to tell you, there was a couple of days that they went for like 4 hours a day, twice a week. There was a couple of days that I would just go into the store. I would just walk around Kroger for like 4 hours because I was like, oh, thank God, there's nobody here with me. I'm just going to walk around. Yeah, drink a Starbucks. Oh, Starbucks was great for the breast milk, by the way. So, but that was me. I just needed to unwind. I needed to let loose. Those were really hard years for me. It was beautiful and it was wonderful. And I don't regret staying home with my kids. But I needed that outlet. I needed it bad. So when I had the opportunity to work 3 nights a week, just part-time, I took it. I jumped on it. And that was fantastic. It saved me. It really did. So it also showed me that I really can't give to anyone else, including my children, if I'm not helping myself, if I'm not fulfilling myself. And I was reminded of that today, that I have to do that. I have to fulfill myself. And it's not, there are sacrifices that we make for our families. I'm not saying there won't be, but I'm saying that there should be some give and take. And as our children get older, as our parents age, there should be some give and take, right? And I will say, my mom sacrificed a lot for us. I mean, she was a single mom for so many years. And there was a lot that she sacrificed for us. But we're able to really like work through that now. Like, giving back, doing things. Hey, I gave her some awesome grandchildren. And anytime she wants them, I am happy to drive them over to her house and drop them off and just say good luck. They love Nana. And they actually obey Nana better than they do me. You're venting, but also teaching. Oh my gosh, I know. I am venting a little bit to mommy. But and I love that Jen's crew behaves when you're out. Mine don't. Like I always come in to somebody has eaten a crayon. I don't know what it is about dogs and crayons. But Badger will be sitting there, and here he comes, by the way. Come on, kitty. Badger will be sitting there, and he's like, I didn't do that. I watched him do it. I think it's stupid, but hey, you just going to sit in front of the camera? Yeah. And look how much I love this cat. And look how much he expects me to do for him. I guess he kind of does give back a little bit. So much fun. Well, so how are you guys feeling about balance? There is a couple of things I wanted to share. And let me tell you again, when I get ready to read this little spell out, if you want a copy of it, you have to email me at metaphysicalroundtable@gmail.com. Right there. It's in the ticker below. Because I will forget and I won't remember to email that out. So you have to email me and say, hey, send me a copy of that. Print that out for me or whatever. Like, I'm good. I can do it. Is he your cat or your son's? Okay, he's really mine. But I swear thing one, like, draws him in. He really does. Love this cat, though. And his little nephew, too, Patches, that you guys met last time. Okay, so this is some mantras that I want to share with you guys. So sometimes this does have to do with fear, right? Fear is a big clogger of the waterways, let's say. Okay. And we can use fear as like a reason to say, well, my kids need me, or my spouse needs me, or my mom needs me, or blah, 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 blah. Any of the examples I've given you. My friends really need me. So let's turn our fear into fascination. There's two halves of the moon right there, right? I always say fear and faith because you can't hold on to fear if you can't like have faith if you're holding on to fear. So, but with fear, maybe the opposite end is fascination. Like, I really dig that. I want to look more into it. I know. It's not like Jason's going to come out from behind and just at the lake. Yeah. Or whatever he did. I don't know what he did. Leap and you will fly. Okay. Maybe not always, right? But the thing is, we learn to fly that way. I know. Be what you want to be. Now, sometimes that can change day to day, but I like it. And I want to be a good mom. So I am a good mom. Well, in theory. It's like when I'm packing my kids' lunch, I'm like, you didn't really finish that Pop-Tart this morning, did you? And yes, I let my kids eat Pop-Tarts because they're picky eaters. I'm like, you didn't finish that Pop-Tart, did you? I'm just going to put it in a baggie and send it on. You'll be good. Eat it for lunch. Eat it for snack. Whatever. Okay, so let's talk about banishing fear. Okay, so what you're going to need for this is a pen, a piece of paper, a black candle, a fireproof bowl, or I like to use a pot, like a sauce pot, a bowl, a pot, some soil, or access to outside, like gardening. Hey, Lauren. So we want to think of a symbol. This is how we start it. Think of a symbol or a couple of words to describe what you think is holding you back. What do you think is holding you back? Do you think that it's a decision that somebody else needs to make? Is that what's holding you back? Like, are you waiting for your mom, your spouse, your kids, your brother, your uncle, your second cousin, your nephew, whatever? I didn't mean to throw out all the men there. I didn't. Are you waiting for them to make a decision? Are you waiting for them to grow up? Are you waiting for them to find out who they are? What are you doing? What is holding you back? So write down what you think is holding you back. Is it a fear? Is it a fear of failure? Is that what's holding you back? Is that why you're using all the excuses that are coming into your life? Right? And as moms, we do that shit with glory, right? Oh my gosh. I even did that with my dog before, before I had them. I really need my notebook for a second. Oh my goodness, isn't he cute? Oh my god. Oh, he's so pissed. He's so cute though. I know it. I'm just going to put you right there. Look, I cleaned it off for you. Come on. Your favorite people, Magali and Veronica, are in the chat. There you go. Oh my goodness, Lauren. I am so sorry. A really nasty infection that put you in the hospital. Oh, okay. Girl, after this is over, I'll send you some healing energy. I got a candle. I restocked all my healing candles. I needed them. We were going through them. Yeah. So, hey, Diane. Okay. So we're thinking of the symbol or a couple of words to describe our fear or whatever is clogging the river, right? Whatever is clogging our movement forward. Write it down. And as you do, imagine you're pouring your anxiety onto the paper. So we're not trying to, okay, for example, since I am talking about a lot of mothers today because it's coming up Mother's Day, we're not trying to disconnect from our children, right? That's not what it is. But if our children are needing a way to grow up, if they're needing a way to form some independence, and I'm not talking about special needs children. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not the thing. However, there are a lot of special needs children that do have a certain amount of independence, because you're just teaching them in a different way, right? Brother is the worry. Oh, Sandra. So I'm so sorry. Totally enjoyed things, but everyone passes. Brother is the worry. Oh, Sandra. Okay, so as we're pouring our anxiety over these situations into the paper, okay, we're going to light the black candle. Then we're going to fold the paper and pass it through the flame. Like, through the flame. And when we pass it through the flame, it should catch fire. That's the point. And then we're going to drop it into the pot, the bowl, the fireproof bowl. Let me just say that. Don't put it in a wooden bowl. Don't set your place on fire. Let's be careful here, people, okay? Don't say, well, that Jennifer girl told me to do this and then set everything on fire. No. A fireproof bowl or a pot, okay? Watch as it burns and let the fear, the blockage burn away. Burn away. As you watch it burn away, let it go. Just let it go. Especially if it's something that you can't control. Okay? As you do this, say, the fear is vanquished by fire and flame. Now we're going to take the ashes and we're going to put the ashes either outside in your garden. And if you live in an apartment, this is a good place. Like, there are places around your apartment like that have flower beds or bushes or something where you could put it into the earth, because this is where you want to say back to the earth from whence it came. So we're going to send it to the earth and let the earth cleanse it. I like that. I'm very much an earth sign. So think about that. I know, put that in your sauce pot. But this is going to help us get rid of these blocks. And sometimes fear is a big block. I mean, let's face it, fear is a big block. But if we're using our relationships as an excuse, if we're using, and I've done it. Use kids, use family, use responsibilities as an excuse not to move forward. That's a blockage. And what we're supposed to be like shunting downstream for somebody else to gather is not moving. Yeah, I know. It's a very deep subject, isn't it? But I did want to add this because, okay, she's not like my truly favorite person, but I don't know her personally. So it's this Giselle lady that is married to Tom somebody. He's a football player. Is it Tom? I don't know. He's the guy that said he was going to retire and then he didn't. And or he said he was retiring and everybody was just like, yay. And then he didn't retire. I can't remember his name. Tom something. But I'm afraid I'm going to butcher her name. She's a model. And her name is Giselle Bundchen. I don't know. Anyway, I do like what she said, even though she may not be my favorite person. Tom Brady. Thank you, Kelsey. Thank you. Oh my gosh. You're my girl. See, I can't remember these names. I'm bad with names. Kelsey, you rock. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Tiffany. I didn't even know you were here, Tiffany. Hey. Magali. Jen Stratman. I mean, Lauren. Everybody's just popping in and telling me who Tom Brady is. I couldn't think of his name. I'm sorry. So his wife, again, I don't know. I just not always loving her energy. But she says, the more you trust your intuition, the more empowered you become. The stronger you become, the happier you become. La la la. So maybe he married the right woman. I don't know. I mean, maybe she's helped him like develop this sense of whatever. You know, I just love that. Everybody just immediately chimed in. Tom Brady, Tom Brady, Tom Brady, Tom Brady. Love y'all. Ow! Hey, you're not supposed to do that, okay? You're supposed to let me touch your feet because I like them. What an asshole. And this is my favorite. So much for that balance shit, right? But this is really, really important. So I want all of you to think about this. Even if you don't have children that you have given birth to, you have some kind of child. Even if it's an adult that's, a child or has returned to that stage in their life. Yeah. Or, it could be anybody that you're taking care of. But this is about taking care of other people above yourself. So, yes, I know. Okay, Magali has a sort of charted. No, it's not an easy relationship with Badger. Badger likes to jump out and scare her. I'm surprised Courtney hadn't said something about my cat being on the show. Because she says that she would not come and visit me if the cat was going to be here. I may have to put him in a room or something if she decides to come and visit me. I know. Sorry. I'm not trying to call you out, Courtney. But it's just funny that Magali's just like, mm-hmm. But he is cute. I know. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed this balancing act talk. And I really, really hope that you get out in this half and half moon the second quarter moon that starts on Saturday night. I lied. It starts Saturday morning and it goes until early Monday morning. So pretty much all day Saturday and all day Sunday, you're in a good place with that second quarter moon and you can pull in the energy of this balance. So look at yourself, see what it is that is blocking you. See what is going on, what's hindering you. And most of the time, I'm going to tell you, it's us. It's us creating those blockages. Because what are we doing? Are we giving our power away? I know I actually did talk to somebody about that earlier this week, and she was like, but my husband needs me. He needs me here. He needs me. And I was like, why? Why does he need you there? And she was like, well, the other day he couldn't find blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what does he do for a living? He's an engineer. Pretty sure he can open up the damn refrigerator and find it. So, or the cupboard, whatever. But I'm just saying, they're not helpless unless you're teaching them to be helpless. And I'm definitely not teaching mine to be helpless. Apparently, I'm teaching them to be jackasses. Even the cat. Yeah. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Mother's Day. And hey, don't forget, next week, Mercury goes retrograde on the 10th, the same day that Jupiter goes into Aries. What? Make sure you watch our weekly forecast for updates on all of that, because Rachel and I talked quite a bit about the Jupiter and Aries thing. Very exciting. I know. But I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I'll see you next week when we talk about the full moon in... Oh my gosh. It's a full moon in Scorpio. That's what we're going to be talking about next week. Wow. Yes, and happy Mother's Day to all of you in the chat. Yeah. Because even if you didn't give birth to somebody, you're mothering somebody. I just know it. That's real, isn't it? I know my dog used to give me Mother's Day presents. A lot of times it was a trip to the Dairy Queen, but that was worth it. It was worth it. So don't forget, if you want a copy or anything like of the little spell that I did tonight, you have to email me at metaphysicalroundtable@gmail.com, because I will forget and I will not send it out. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night, and thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys next week. Get out there and make your magic.